So if you don't know, you can actually see that black and orange. That usually runs to that 3-inch speaker that's above the subs. I swapped these out. I've got other videos about how I did that. And they're sideways like this for a reason, because the terminals were hitting the back metal wall, and actually I fried like 2 sets of speakers because they grounded out, or bottomed out, whatever the hell you want to call it. So yeah, you can swap out those 3s. I'm putting in 5x7s, and they sound fucking amazing. I'm running them to a JL Audio 400, 4x100. So I got one over here, I got one over here. I got other videos about swapping out these subs if you want to check them out. I did a full swap, pretty much every speaker. These highs swapped out with some focals. These mid basses swapped out with some Orions. These mid ranges swapped out as well. Everything's been swapped out. System screams pretty freaking nice. If you get vibration, it's usually from like back here, so you add a little bit of padding, or something like back here, you add a little padding. I had to cut the sizes out a little bit. But if you do this right, you can use the same cover that comes, with the speaker. And my cut was a little off, so I kind of screwed up a little. So I'm probably gonna have to make a new cover for it, but it's not a big deal for me, really. I don't really care. But the thing is, if you put this in here, the space is gonna get so tight that you need to put the bolts in for the head unit before you put this thing in. And you may call it janky, I don't give a shit. But after I get those bolts in, I'll put that in there, and I'll just tie tag that to this little hole up here. That little hole up here, I'll tie tag that. And I'll tie tag this to this little hole up here. And that's all I need. And it holds it in perfectly. But you gotta put the bolts in for the head unit first, because you can't do it the other way. Okay, so if you're looking for some extra scream from the back, really helps bring in those mids and highs, man, which I think are pretty severely lacking in this car. Everything was lacking, honestly, but hey, ideas. Okay, so in the other video I showed you the orange and black cable, that was up for that 3-inch that you splice into back up here, and then you run that signal from there to your active line converter. It has to be active because you're running 770 watts from the Meridian, and you might melt the passive. And if you try to run like directly to the amp or something without having an active, it won't step down the voltage, and you'll shut down your amp. As you ramp up the volume to the head unit, it will put too much voltage to the amp, and it'll start shutting down. I learned that from experience. So you get the active, you run the signal to the active, and then it gets you some nice RCAs. Stingers can't go wrong. Run the RCAs to the channel 1, 2, run a 2-channel mode, whatever you want to do, and voila. Put the cover back on, you got yourself new 5x7s and subs behind the scenes.